I'm a pretty huge fan of horror in general. Old school horror films like The Thing and Nightmare on Elm Street are some of my faves. But for whatever reason, I don't really play too many horror video games. I have a problem coming back to them. Sure, I can start them just fine, and sure, I enjoy how creepy they are. But for whatever reason, as soon as I put down that controller, I completely lose the urge to pick it up again. Sure, there are some amazing horror games out there, and I can really appreciate them for how well they're designed, but I just can't seem to pick them up again. So to celebrate Halloween, I came up with a two-parter video. The top 14 games that aren't horror games but have horror elements and are scary mostly because of the music or sound effects but aren't intended that way. Or I'll just go with top 14 games with creepy sounds in it. Much better. Ghouls is an interesting pick, to say the least. This one is about the most personal pick that's going to be on this entire list. I bet most of the people watching this aren't even going to agree with me on this, but hey, what can I say? I'm a real scaredy cat. The music puts me in this weird, paranoid kind of mood that makes me much more susceptible to stuff that I wouldn't normally find scary. Like this guy. Or this sound effect. Or how the level looks like it's the digestive system of some gargantuan hellspawn. I grew up with this game, and I've played it like a bajillion times, so this tunage is integrated into my skull. When I listen to this music and the sound effects, I get really panicky. If you know the reputation of this game, you know how incredibly hard this game can get, so the panickiness plus having pitfalls and terrorizing creatures around every corner puts me on edge. This music isn't the scariest stuff out there, but hey, that's why it's at the bottom of my list. I'm sure that if you're watching this video right now, then you are familiar with most of the very stuffs that make up the internet. Therefore, you are familiar with the whole Pokemon Lavender Town creepy myth. But just in case you're not...
When this game was first released in Japan, there were a few rumors of a certain incidents of children vomiting, nosebleeds, and having suicidal tendencies. The rumor spread that there were more than a few suicidal incidents specifically linked to this game. Apparently, the music from the Pokemon level Lavender Town had a high-pitched frequency that only children can hear, that would induce suicidal thoughts.
Well, rumor or not, that's pretty freaky. But it's not just the rumor, though. Lavender Town itself had a haunted Pokemon graveyard that you had to go investigate while playing the game. Then the icing on the cake of creepy is the music itself from Lavender Town. That rumor, plus the Pokemon graveyard, plus the music makes for a pretty creepy moment in all of the game. I mean, just sit back and listen to this while you play. It's just... Ugh. Now, first off, I want to say that Metroid is more of an adventure exploration game than a straight-up horror, so it's totally safe to be on this list. Metroid is one of those games for the Super Nintendo that I never really owned growing up. When I finally got around to playing it, I was very much a grown man, and not as susceptible to scary, creepy things. However, the music from this game still does give me a little bit of the creeps. Especially this track. I actually use this track in a lot of my videos to make a creepy atmosphere. One thing that Metroid has always done well is create a really dense sense of solitude. You're always alone in this game, and when you're all by yourself with no one but your trusty laser cannon by your side, there's monsters everywhere. It can get under your skin pretty quickly. So, yeah, this music's pretty creepy. Not to mention how horrifying these sound effects are! Oh my god! Diablo is one of the two franchises that really developed my love for Blizzard. Blizzard and I had many wonderful years together, getting to know each other, gaming together, enjoying each other's company, sharing romantic dinners, you know, the usual stuff you do with gaming companies. That is until we broke up. But I still frequently go back to revisit what we had together. I really enjoyed Diablo 2, and most of all, the music. There's a lot of super creepy music in this game. The dungeons, the creepy cave, and all of Act 4 have some of the eeriest, skin-crawlingest, stain-inducingest music I've heard in gaming of that era. You don't really notice it too much over the sounds of cracking skulls and waves of lightning, but when you're all alone and you can hear that music echoing around the caverns, it really gets to you. But out of all the eerie music in this game, the song from Tristram has to be the absolute creepiest. I don't think a whole lot of you will really agree with me just by listening to the song, but after revisiting Tristram a million times, it starts to really sink in. That eerie guitar plucking really gets to me. In fact, I used to use the song to creep out all the other trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood. I've already talked about what I think of the music from Minecraft, and if you want to know all about it, then I'll just leave the link right here for you. There are a few of the songs in this game that are more than just misplaced, they're just downright eerie. Hello? Hello? Is there anyone out there? Guys? Don't leave me down here alone! That's not even the worst of it. Minecraft has a lot of weird sound effects in it. There's this one, and this one. This one's kind of weird. But nothing really compares to this one. That's the sound of an Enderman staring at you, peering into your soul. The Endermen are scary enough. I mean, when you look at those eyes, but couple that with this sound effect. Ugh, just forget it. Halo is actually the first and pretty much the only reason why I own an Xbox. There's something really special about the music for this game, but that's a story for another time. You're here for some creepy stuff, so let's get right down to it. Throughout most of Halo, you're going around carelessly plugging aliens full of lead or lasers or whatever. And then you see this.
Why do we always have to listen to this old stuff, Sarge?
Watch your mouth, son. This stuff is your history. It should remind you, grunts, what we're fighting to protect.
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides. I got a bad feeling about this. What is that?
Where's that coming from, Mendoza?
I don't... There! Mira!
Hold still! Hold still! Let him have it!
And the game completely changes its mood. Suddenly you have these creatures coming after you and you're backed into a corner. What gets me here is really the heart-pounding music and the sound of the creatures skittering after you. Halo is in this spot on my list because of the way the game just throws this curveball at you. This moment is so different from the rest of this game. It just comes out of nowhere and scares the bejesus out of you. Even after this point in the game, the Flood aren't really all that creepy, but this moment, just this moment in particular, where they come out of nowhere and just come after you, and you can hear the sounds of their little voices. And, ugh. There are so many things about the Half-Life universe that are incredibly freaky. And I would love to go into great detail about all the different sounds I've heard playing through Half-Life 1 and 2, but there's just one problem. I've never played Half-Life 2, and I didn't get very far in Half-Life 1. Well, of the things that I have experienced in Half-Life, I would say that this is some of the creepiest shit I've ever experienced. Alright class, let's go over what freaked you out about this scene, okay? Okay. Creepy aliens, check. Flashing imagery, check. Science gone horribly wrong, check. But what was the biggest thing here? Well, you obviously haven't been watching my videos enough if you said anything other than the audio. I want to really take you through this bit by bit. First off, you start the game, no music. That's an important one.
Good morning.
Nothing to distract you.
Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security.
Next we have that calm, disembodied voice that's talking to you on a really slow-moving tram. Then we have the nice, calm way that everyone talks to you and greets you and welcomes you to the lab.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files.
This creates a great, calm atmosphere. Nothing's gonna go wrong, everything's fine. And so we cruise along, fast forward a bit, and now we're in the chamber. Again, there's another disembodied voice. But this time, you hear a slight bit of panic in their voice.
Everything seems to be in order. All right, Gordon, your suit should keep you comfortable.
Then, some electronic humming. That humming is always in the background, foreshadowing something, keeping you distracted. And finally, there's a crescendo of sounds when you push whatever this is into whatever that is.
Into the analysis port.
Gordon, get away from the shutting down. No. Attempted shutdown. It's not shutting down. It's not.
Just noise, and silence. And then darkness. The sound of your breath, just to remind you that yes, you are indeed frightened, and you're still alive. More images, more creepy, fleshy alien sounds, then we're back in the lab with sirens raging, reminding you that something has seriously gone wrong. That is the whole intro sequence of Half-Life. If you played the whole thing on mute, it has to be probably one of the most boring sequences I've ever seen. But add just the right of orchestrated sound design and it becomes a masterpiece of horror. It's designed to freak you out and foreshadow how horrible the events of the game are that are about to unfold. So, yeah, after seeing this, I was seriously freaked out. But it reminded me that what was yet to come is going to be even worse.